We are about to do the six parting. The six parting is going to help you know where the middle of the head is, as well as the top of the head and the back nape. These are important for doing knotless in any individual style. So that's what we're about to do now.
The first thing you want to do is get the middle part. Now the middle part comes from the tip of the person's nose. You're going to take the nose, follow it straight up. That's going to give you your middle part. So from the nose, rock it up, take it straight back. That is going to give you your middle part for the front. Then we're going to move around to the back. So I'm going to take one half of this and get it out the way and do the same thing to the other half. So one straight from the middle, the person's back of the neck, usually their spine will give you that part on where it is going to be directly in the middle for that person in the back of the head. You can also do it where you lift up the backs and see if you are in the middle. So this one is kind of off to the side, but that's okay because we're going to be using this as our foundation parting. So in order to get the nape, now that you have the head in two halves, now you're going to put 3 on both sides. Put 3 over here, 3 over there. So we're going to do 1 here for the nape, 1 here for ear to ear, and 1 here for the front. Okay, so now you see the nape, your ear to ear parting, and their front area. You guys want to know these so that way you can get the perfect horseshoe, you can get the perfect middle part. You can also know if you are starting the person's braids as a small, medium, or large based off of the grid that you are starting in the back nape, as well across the sides. So let's do the same thing on this side. So we're going to take from behind the ear, well, the top of the ear, go all the way across, come over here, and even it up. My mannequin head is just moving with the wind. Now we're going to do right behind the back of the ear, going straight across. When you guys make that line going across here, make sure that it's going to even up with the one that is over here. So connect here and make sure it's behind the ear. Okay, now we are officially ready to start any parting for knotless, traditional box braids, any type of individual parting. You are already sectioned, so you can make sure you have the correct amount of rolls, the correct amount of parts, and the correct amount of braids for what size you are doing. All right, we're about to go ahead and do our jumbo parting. So go ahead and get to your 6 parting and we'll start from there.
Things to keep in mind when you guys are doing your jumbos is to go for having at least 12 braids or less. That's typically about the amount that you want, and you want to be done within an hour and 30 minutes. You also want to know that it's going to change depending on the person's head shape, size, and density of hair.
It's very important to have this middle line be dead smack in the middle, even going all the way to the back. because for a jumbo, these two are actually going to be a braid by themselves. So if this part is crooked, it'll be a problem. Versus if we were doing any of the other sizes, we'd be combining these two to do our full row, so it wouldn't matter. But for a jumbo, this matters. Make sure that this middle one is going directly down the center, so that way these two braids can be precisely even, okay? So we have our bottoms. Like I said, these two are going to be two braids. There's no more parting to be done for the back for a jumbo. Now, when you guys are getting ready to do your jumbo for the side part, a jumbo only has one row across the back of the head. That's it. So it's going to have that part that we had here. That one is going to be one whole section. Let's go ahead and part that off. Remember, we're using the point to the person's eyebrow. So where their eyebrow goes up and goes down, that, follow it straight up, should be where your part is at. That's going to give you this whole side of the head. Now we're going to use that point and just even it. So this whole section is considered one row across the back for a jumbo parting. So we're going to do this one here. And all we're going to do is keep the same size going across. So we're just going to go right across there. And then we're going to look to see if this size width is the same over here. So let's go ahead and see there compared to here. Now, if this was on an actual person, what I would have done is lifted this up a bit. But since this is a jumbo and it's on a mannequin, we don't typically have this super big arch here. It's usually kind of hair and things here, so it won't look bald here on an actual person. So you won't have to do anything there. Versus, see how on the mannequin you got this big bald area here. It won't really be like that on a person. So all of this would be fine going across. So all you do is group together this whole thing here. All right, and now we're going to do the same thing on this other side. These two here you can put together. And we are going to go from this part of from the eyebrow straight up, and that'll be where our part would be at. So here, and now we're going to make it even going across. Now we have the same thing on the other side. And then now we have a point here and a point here, and we can just connect them. So just go right on across to the other side. And you guys can round this off a little better. If it was an actual person, on the mannequins it'd be kind of hard. All right, so now we're just going to braid that going right across. You guys can double check your work and look at your mannequin in the front and see, like, okay, do these look even? So that one's dead on, this one's a little off. So I can bring that tip down some. There we go. All right, so now we have our piece here and we have our piece here. For a jumbo, for the top area, typically, depending on the person, this will change. So you can have someone that will end up having 2 braids here, someone that will end up having 3 braids here, and somebody that'll just have 1. So it just depends on that person's head size for a jumbo. It just depends on the head shape of the person.
These are some different variations, so that way you guys can see as far as like different parting styles and things that we'll be getting into as we continue this series. We'll also be doing different sizes as well, so if you are interested in those, stay tuned.
But this is your sectioning for a jumbo.